And
We're here.
We're here.
hey everybody. Hey.
Hey, y'all.
Welcome to the latest edition of You Get What You Get. I'm Rickey Hampton with my great friends Tree McDougal and Tim Turner. Tuesday night, January. Trying to get to spring. Glad Tim could make it home tonight.
I
Yeah,
know, right?
yeah.
Hey Tree, Tim just got home from last Tuesday.
That's why I took a couple of naps some on the side of the road.
We were talking about that earlier, Tim and I, when I said it was a week ago today that you had that long trek, 3 hour drive? Like a 3 hour cruise?
3 hours to get home on yeah, it was just the perfect convergence of bad weather. It snowed from 2 to 6 here in Atlanta, and just as the temps dropped, everything turned to ice immediately. So it was a slip sliding away all over the place. Just the lower.
Hey,
yes, sir.
Wasn't it a couple of years ago people got stranded on
Funny you should
in
see
Atlanta
that.
on the
11 years ago 11 years ago today
was it
Snowmageddon.
Yes, 11 years ago today on the January 28th of 2014. So yeah, they trotted out the video and it didn't look too much different from what was last week. Except now they have road sensors. They try to pre-treat roads and all this other stuff, but there still were issues because it was so cold. A lot of water mains broke near streets, turning them into to ice rinks. So it was that, and these auto body shops made a killing this past week because there were a lot of folks I saw that like smashed into trees and slid down culverts. It was quite harrowing and interesting.
And Ricky, I don't know if you know that, but we had snow here in Savannah up to about 3 inches.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, they got 3. Yeah,
we don't have the equipment for that.
Yeah. Myrtle Beach got 9 inches of snow.
Right.
That's just right down the road from the tree. That's not far from.
No, I'm like, that's why.
No.
I didn't move here to be on the coast for snow, so I was like, "What?" But I was
I know
excited
that's
to
right.
wear coats, but I haven't been out of the house. It was like 3 days in, so I never went out for 3 days. So
yeah, New Orleans record for snow was like around 2.1 inches or something like that, and they got 10. They got 10 last week in one day. So I don't think that record's going to be broken anytime soon.
But you know what? No, I'm sorry, Tim.
This is like global warming. This is going to be the norm where you have these Gulf Coast storms. I saw a meme today. It was a mean meme. They said Tallahassee got more inches of snow, 2.1, than Florida State got winds, which was 2.
Wow. That is a mean meme. A mean meme? Mean meme, I can't say.
That's a mean man if you're a Florida State fan. Yeah, but it's a serious side. It's a serious side to all that too. Especially with the Snowmageddon, there were several lives lost in that. Wasn't it, Tim?
There were, and I had a coworker. We were at the airport. We were to work 12-hour shifts, and mine was from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and nothing happened until 2 o'clock, and I was just dreading getting ready to go home. The brother who was supposed to relieve me, he never made it because of the street that he was on was backed up. It took him 8 hours to get home. It took him 7 hours to get where he could turn around or to go back home. There were people who did spend the night in their cars, just like the last time. Mm-hmm. Just learned a lesson though. It's like if it was black, don't drive on it. I found snow. Yeah. The snow
like ice.
Yeah.
Snow has traction. Ice has nothing.
I think you learned the other lesson: stay on the main roads, right?
I did that because my friend Waze, is a friend calls it Waze, told me to get off on this sidewalk. And Waze is not factoring in the weather. because that side road was nothing but an ice rink. And I keep calling it positive traction from my cousin Vinny. My skid protection was working overtime. It's like, man, we had this car for 3 years. We've never worked this hard. So
it normally takes you how long to get home?
50 minutes, maybe. Yeah. 50 minutes.
And seems like nothing now, right?
I was in the Weather Channel mode. I kept saying, turn in the direction of the skid. Turn in the direction of the skid.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. But that's our next vehicle will be a 4-wheel drive, not this rear wheel nonsense. Because I saw these SUVs just blowing past me, Italy, But it was an experience.
Wow.
Yeah, that I last time we had Snowmageddon, I was in the house the entire time. I saw this blue moving over from Alabama, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm not going to work today." So I just sat there and and watched it all on television. This time I was in it, and that was not fun at all.
Yeah,
what's that?
What that happened? So that happened last Tuesday.
Last Tuesday.
That was last Tuesday when all that went down.
It was the second snowfall in 3 weeks for Atlanta. We had up here we had like 3 inches the Friday before that, and then had a little week break, and then last Tuesday had another couple of inches. So we had our feel for the year.
Well, that's why we weren't able to get together last week, so I'm glad we're together this week, and glad you made it home safely.
Yeah, because I was so bummed about my Lions just blowing it, gift wrapping that game to Washington, but I don't think they were going to beat the Eagles the way they looked the other day anyway, so I don't feel too bad. But I guess we could start with the conference championship games, and Washington had really a tremendous run.
They did.
Drafted Jayden Daniels. I mean, the kid is so cool, calm, and collected. But they ran into a buzzsaw, and especially when you turn it over. What did they turn over 3 or 4 times? I'm like, dude.
Yeah.
And plus, they had, I think, they were like the 3rd worst team against the run, and they had the running back of all time behind that Philly offensive line. First time he touches the ball, he's gone. That's the tone.
I mean, the score was so huge. Differential on the score. I was like, I don't think I need to watch the end of this. I'll come back for the celebration at the end.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I did. There's no coming back. Yeah, but then Kansas
55-23. But man, those Chiefs, man, they are so impressive. They just won games. And it used to be flashy, this high-tech football. They just they take the Malcolm X approach now. By any means necessary, they are going to find a way to win a game. And if you're Buffalo, is there a more heartbroken franchise than the Buffalo Bills? They go to 4 straight Super Bowls, true, and lose. Now they have this outstanding team that comes along in the era of Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
And they can't get over the hump.
I don't know, Tim, do you have a more heartbroken team?
One game at least.
I didn't, maybe I shouldn't bring it up again.
That's okay. Every time I see the dimpled one on Fox television, I want to get up there and go through there and choke him. So
see who?
The dimpled one, Mr. Brady.
Oh.
Yeah. I just want to go through there and take care of him. But Buffalo has had this trouble. And they said they called Patrick Mahomes something today online, which is so true. It's like Patrick Mahomes and Michael Jordan are in the same category. They're both dream killers. As long as Michael Jordan was in the way, nobody else is winning the championship. As long as Patrick Mahomes is a quarterback, nobody's winning the championship. But my thing with Kansas City, though, is as much as I root for them, I want them to win this three-peat. They get some sketchy calls all year long. All year long.
Well,
bad call that goes in their favor. And that first down thing that they got, where one referee said he didn't make it, another one said, yeah, he did. And they said, they went with the yeah, he did, which it's hard to argue that. It is. I mean, why do they get the calls all the time?
They've been very fortunate, but it seems like that. We used to talk about the Celtics getting all these calls at home. These great teams seems to get fortunate bounces, fortunate calls. I got a buddy that still thinks Tom Brady fumbled that ball against the Raiders years ago. The tuck rule or whatever it was.
Yeah, but that was really weird because I think he probably did fumble. And he admitted to it. Charles Woodson got up there. They had that little 30 for 30 and went over that play. And yeah, he knows he fumbled the ball. The thing about it is, but Buffalo had a shot toward the end. I think it's Dalton Knox is the name of the tight end.
Yeah,
I really thought that Allen was throwing the ball away. And then, I mean, if Knox comes up with that catch, it's probably a field goal and they go into overtime. But it was that was just tough. That was tough.
So, Ricky, are you excited about the possibility of the three-peat?
Yeah, I am. I mean, I think it's going to be a great game. I think these are the two best teams remaining. I'm excited. You have two African-American quarterbacks going at each other in a championship game. And Tim, we have talked about this for years now, about the dawning of the black quarterback in the NFL. I think there's no question the black quarterback is here in the NFL and here to stay. And I think it's changing the way the game is played.
Absolutely. You can't there's only one statue quarterback right now that does anything, and that's Joe Burrow. He's the only somebody who can sit back there. Well, who's successful? I
was going to say this. Compared to Jared Goff, he moves like Bob Hayes, man. Jared Goff.
But you got Goff and Burrow are the teams that were winners, are people who don't move, or statues. Everybody else can get around and they're gonna make plays with their legs. Everybody does that now, and people are looking for that now. I was impressed with the Notre Dame quarterback as much as he ran in a championship game against Ohio State.
Yeah. And even though Ohio State quarterback moves,
both those guys.
He kind of lumbers, but I mean, he's not outrunning anybody, but he's not a statue back there either.
Okay.
All the quarterbacks who were the final 8 teams, every one of them had a quarterback that could move.
Yeah. The game is changing now, and I don't know what this will be an interesting all season, guys. I think for the NFL Rules Committee. I am sure when they go to Palm Beach, if that's where they go, they still going there. I don't know if they still go there for the winter meetings, that people are going to want to bring up how we can defend these quarterbacks in open space. Because Patrick Mahomes will absolutely make a fool out of you.
This is my thing. If I'm a defensive player or somebody like a rookie and I'm getting Mahomes' division, I'm just go ahead and say, I asked for a really huge signing bonus because I'm going to get my 15. Because that little pump fake he does going downfield, sometimes he steps out, sometimes he doesn't. I'm just going to hit him. On the safe side, just knock the fool out of him. And that way, he'll think about it. That he's like, I'm not afraid to get 15. I am not afraid to take this 15-yard penalty.
And that's precisely what Dan Campbell has told his defenders playing against Caleb Williams, and he used a little profanity with it. And so I got to hit his, what.
Right.
We ain't worried about the flag. Just hit him. Let him know.
The team will pay your fine. Knock him out. That's what you have to do. Because as long as they're getting hit, they're not getting hit. Granted, when Patrick starts running, sometimes when they're feet first, you got to let up. You just have to. But when he's like diving headlong,
right,
crush him.
Right.
That's just the thing. You know, I get a lot of grief here at the household for those kind of tactics. Because it's poor sportsmanship. Sportsmanship had got nothing to do with trying to win.
Sounds brutal.
Hey, Tim,
it's a brutal game, right? So there's that. I said it sounds brutal, but it's a brutal game.
It is. Every play could be your last one.
And I want to violent.
You know, and Jalen Hurts he tries to run, and he's gimpy right now. I mean, this 2 weeks off is going to be great for the Eagles because they got some people that are beat up. Yeah. Hurts was wearing a knee brace this last game, and he survived it. And it's going to be interesting to see how well he comes through this week.
I mean, I'm just tired of all the winning of the Chiefs, and I know that people want. I'm probably not alone, but
it doesn't take much.
Yeah, but my husband said, I'm kind of excited to see a three-peat. And you guys are talking about the three-peat, and I was like, I guess it'd be cool if that matters to you, or you get to see history, right? Is that what it's about, seeing the history of it?
I'm trying to think. Will this be the first time a brother's won the Super Bowl besides Doug Williams? Is it?
No.
I mean, with Mahomes. I keep forgetting.
Yeah, right. And Russell Wilson and
okay. I'm just trying to think about the significance of that because I'm quite sure heads are exploding on the right because your grandson can't emulate or doesn't want to emulate who the quarterback is now.
No. Heads are not exploding if they win, if their team wins. It's okay. We can play football. We can play sports.
Yeah. When you're being entertained, it's okay.
When you're entertained, if we can play sports, you can help your team win.
Right.
It's all cool. But don't do anything outside of that box of throwing a football, tackling. That's
shut up and dribble, right? Shut up and dribble.
Yeah.
Hey, but Tim, going back to hitting the quarterback, and I totally agree with you on that premise. And I think more teams are going to just going to hit the dude, man. We'll take those 15 and let him know. But on your kick,
I thought Washington should have done that on the goal line.
Yeah.
I mean, when they those 3 times the dude don't blue vote
because we're
over in there. What you got to lose? You're on the 1 inch line. Knock him out.
Right.
I've never seen anybody jump over like that. And then the fact that they did it twice.
Yeah, then the guy said, look, next time we're going to give them the touchdown.
Right.
Then you got nothing to lose. You can still do it. They were going to score anyway. They're going to score.
Punish him. But Tim, did you ever, doing kickoffs, did you ever light anybody up during your days at Morehouse?
Never light anybody up?
Yeah, on a kickoff. Did you ever have a touchdown saving tackle,
Rick,
on a kickoff?
I kicked the ball through the end zone. There were touchbacks. I didn't have to worry about tackling nobody.
What percentages of your kicks?
98% of the kicks went through the end zone.
Are you serious?
Dude,
are you serious?
They've moved the kick to tee back. It was closer when I played.
Back in your day?
I used to do kickoffs and kick it through the goalpost.
Back in your day?
Back in my day. Because you get a running start, I could kick it through the goalpost. That was my aim, to try to kick it through the goalpost.
Did you ever pull off a successful onside kick? Because I have seen. Now you talk about some bad onside kicks. I've seen some bad ones this year.
I never did a successful onside kick, and I had a punt return for a touchdown because I missed the tackle. Or I olayed a tackle. You could tell that I had not done much of it.
You did what a tackle? You did what a tackle?
Like a matador.
Tim made a business decision.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that was an interesting game where I was playing receiver. It was a 3rd down and short, and they called an audible to me, and there was nothing in front of me but green carpet, and he threw it, and it bounced off my. All I heard was, "Yay!" Oh, it bounced off my shoulder, man. But It was third down.
man.
So I stood out there on fourth down, and I drew a roughing the kicker. So
there you go. You got it back. You got it back.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's going. And we'll have time to get to really get into that game as it approaches the big game. We'll start hearing all the commercials for the big game, like we don't know it's the Super Bowl with all this corporate branding going on.
I saw a flyer that used the word Super Bowl in it, but the deal was they had it all one word with the B lowercase. So they were not infringing on the copyright of Super Bowl, 2 words. They just ran it all as one word, lowercase b.
Where was this? Where did you see this?
It was a flyer somewhere here in town.
And they were coming behind that stuff too, man.
Oh yeah. You cannot call it what it is. And it's like, forget all that Roman numerals nonsense. Super Bowl 59. I have no idea what all the Roman numerals are, but it's the 59th version of this bad boy.
Oh, you didn't get the Roman numeral lesson?
No.
No. That's the one thing I remember my mom teaching me is Roman numerals.
I know what X's mean.
We didn't go up to 15 whatever though.
They're up there. No.
And you know what? So I used to look at them. Yeah, that's Super Bowl. Oh, it's an L. What's that for?
Oh yeah, you can just Google that now.
Yeah,
I have to go to the dictionary.
Somebody online did that.
Decipher them.
Google that. Yes, you can do that. You don't have to think anymore.
No.
Yeah, right. That's the thing. And now you got to really think about it. But yeah, that's going to be a great game. And the Ohio State team, I think we may have talked about this game before it happened. It was funny that in Michigan, you had Michigan fans actually pulling for Ohio State to win the championship game, just so that somehow adds to their joy of beating them in the final game of the regular season in that weird, crazy rivalry they have. But Ohio State really had a great run through the year, and Ryan Day is probably still. Think about it, Tim. He wins the national championship, but he's on the hot seat because he's lost. In the last 4 years. He's
had a chip on his shoulder probably all season long because people are like looking to this one game or whatever. I know we out of the airport greeted both the teams as they came off there, and the Notre Dame coach spent time with our local official people who were there. Ryan Day hopped off the plane, looked at his gift, bolted to the bus. It was all business. It was not about, he had a little.
That's why I liked it. That's why I like Notre Dame. I like the coach.
He took pictures and everything, but Ryan Day was like, yeah, shake your hand, whatever. After he did a little thing with the media, he was like, I'm out. I'm out. This is all about.
What was the gift?
Everybody got this thick gold chain with 2025 on it. It was with the football in there for the 0 in the 2025. It was the logo in a gold chain, big thing from the Atlanta Chamber of Commerce.
A gold chain, like what rappers used to wear, big gold chains?
Flavor Flav gold chain.
Flavor Flav gold chain. Because it's the blackest thing Atlanta can do. What
was it? Well, oddly enough, that's why I was kind of surprised because all the people from the Atlanta Sports Council who gave that thing out were with these white ladies. And I was like, what's the gift? You look at the box, it's a gold chain. I'm like,
Look, that's a poser. That's a poser right there.
I wanted one, but they were like, no, everybody for Notre Dame hadn't gotten theirs yet. I'm like, okay, well, whatever.
Did you get one?
No, I didn't get one.
Am I getting one?
I tell you,
no.
You're not getting one.
I get one.
Your town is really, the city of Atlanta is just taking off in terms of hosting big events. I guess it really all started going all the way back to the Olympics in '96.
Yeah.
Since then, they have just it's become a destination place. Huh?
I said when Coca-Cola bought the Olympics, that's the story people are saying. It's like they threw a lot of money at the Olympic Committee, and it's like, here we go.
Yeah.
And
it worked.
What's that one? And it wasn't probably, from what I understand, how after each Olympics, Juan Antonio Samaranch will say the games were most excellent or something like that. He with Atlanta, I think he said it was most adequate.
Wow. Not because of that bombing.
You got a bomb. You got a bombing. People could not get around on MARTA. Traffic, of course. So it was great to see that happen. See it happen here, but and it has been an international city. And some of the schools benefited. Morehouse got a new gym out of it. Clark got a new natatorium out of that. But Georgia Tech got all these dorms, gorgeous. Dorms. So it's like proportionate. Who got what? Come on.
But they also moved away a housing, like a public housing.
Techwood Homes. Yeah, that was always a joy for me walking back through that area when I was covering Georgia Tech. You just never knew what you were gonna hear, see, experience going through there. So, but they cleared it out and they gave them some beautiful new dorms, and we're still up there in Forbes Arena. And down in Columbus, we got the softball complex where the women won the gold medal down there. So it was the Olympics benefited. Today, I think they had a groundbreaking. The United States national soccer teams now have their facilities down in south of Atlanta in Fayetteville. They broke ground on that, and it'll be finished before 2026 when the World Cup. We have like 4 World Cup games. One of them is a semifinal here in Atlanta. So the world comes to Atlanta once again as they get one of the final 2 games for the World Cup.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's an ideal destination, great airport, plug for Tim Turner and his folks out there. So, hey, kudos to Atlanta, as they used to say. But, Ohio State, national champs. Marcus Freeman's name was being floated around with the NFL, which was just somebody trying to do a Rooney Rule thing. Oh yeah, we trying to hire Marcus Freeman. That man not going nowhere. He just signed a deal with Notre Dame, but we got a lot of movement in the head coaching right.
Ohio State's coaches. I think their DC is now going to Cincinnati Bengals for the Notre Dame. Al Golden, he's left to go there.
To go where?
As defense coordinator.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
So these guys back and forth to jump back and forth between the pros and the colleges. I just wonder how you do that, because I think the motivation is quite different. Well, maybe not so much now with NIL, but the kids aren't being paid, and they pretty much have probably a better attention span than somebody else, unless they have a really good resume, which Golden does.
And money.
That too.
It comes in handy.
But
it comes in handy.
To me, so far, has been Brian Schottenheimer by the Dallas Cowboys. And even Michael Irvin was going off on Jerry. And Michael is a Cowboy through and through.
But did you think
because he wanted Deion Sanders to go there, and I don't think.
Do you think it was really going to happen, though?
I'm sorry, Tree.
I said, do you really think that would have happened, that Deion would go there?
No.
Because Deion likes a lot of attention. And then
you know what?
Jones likes a lot of attention.
No, Tree.
I said, Deion, creates a lot of attention, and Jerry Jones likes a lot of attention. So it's like, how would that even work? So did anybody really think he was going to leave Colorado?
I wouldn't think
I'll answer that first. I was just going to say, Tim, I don't think Jerry would, and Deion didn't even need money, so I don't even think it was money. So I don't think it was nothing that could get him there.
Right.
Yeah.
Unless it's somehow they said, okay, we'll trade Dak to whomever, and then we'll take that pick, and if Shedeur comes, that would have worked.
That was
maybe.
Yeah.
That might have worked.
I don't see how that would have done anything.
Yeah.
But as it is, Jones, I understand, got choked up emotionally when people were questioning his decision making on stuff. But some radio dude ran down a litany of bad choices that they made over the years with him running the thing. Jimmy Johnson, I had never seen it before today. I saw a clip. He suggested a swap of head coaches. That, just say he mentioned there are two really stale franchises in the NFL. They're Pittsburgh and Dallas, and they should work out a trade to trade coaches. The Tomlin would reinvigorate the Cowboys, and McCarthy would reinvigorate the Steelers. I don't know about the Steelers. Tomlin would be interesting because he's a very self-assured, commanding presence, and I don't think just from the folks that have been coaches, except for Jimmy Johnson, he's too strong for that franchise. He just would be. He wouldn't be.
I'm losing.
Yeah. So that was but you got to give Schottenheimer.
But you know what? I lost you for a second there, Tim and Tree, but I heard some of what Tim was saying about Dallas and Pittsburgh being two stale franchise, which is absolutely true. And man, that would be great. I do think Mike Tomlin needs a fresh start somewhere. I think he's really a fine coach, but that message has seemed to have gotten old in Pittsburgh. And he would be a great energizer. I think Dallas will get the better end of that in that swap, getting Tomlin. But I do want to read what Michael Irvin said, and we seem to be kind of going in and out here. But I'm going to try to write. He said, "Here's my issues." Michael Irvin, the former Cowboy great. Hall of Famer. We lost an opportunity. I don't know what happened with Coach Schottenheimer and the Cowboys, but Jerry is a shrewd businessman, and I'm shocked he did not see this opportunity. I was pushing for Deion Sanders to be the next head coach, and I still stand 10 toes down on that push. We have two NFC East teams in the championship game, Eagles and Commanders, and our enemies are on all fronts, and they're in a position we haven't been in 30 years, the longest drought by any NFC East team. You never know that watching ESPN every day, because that might be part of the Cowboys' problem. They think they are on this echelon that they're not.
And I would guess for Urban, it's disappointing having been, on the team in the winning years, and then now to see it not. I guess that's part of his frustration. But I think that, again, if Deion's not going there, he could push for it. But if he, I don't know, maybe he just felt like he needed to say something.
Right.
Tim called that.
I don't think that would.
The one thing would be the coach's son.
Yeah, you have to do that. It's like, and I look at these mock drafts and I'm thinking, is Hunter? They look him going number 2 to Cleveland. I'm like, man, that's going to be a waste of talent. They don't have a quarterback up there. You think about those kids and how what's going on. Deion's going to miss them, and if ever was a chance to jump ship, it would have been this one. But he wants to be Lord of Colorado, and it'd be interesting to see what he's going to do without supreme talent at quarterback and at defensive back. All these other hires they made, it's like 6 of the 7 positions have been filled. Only one that's still out there is New Orleans, and I think McCarthy was going to interview last week in New Orleans, but the snowstorm got him, so I think they're still talking to him. The one that just came out of like who is this guy? I understand how it went down in Tampa when they made Tampa Bay made I think it's Liam Cohen. They made him the highest paid offensive coordinator in the league, and he said, "Okay, I'll stay." And he is now the new head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. So
wasn't he supposed to sign his contracts, but then he just didn't answer the texts or calls and just like
right.
I didn't hear that. Wait a minute, he ghosted them?
Yeah, pretty much.
Sure did.
Well, to coach
that's the story.
Jaguars. And I watched his press conference. He's an interesting guy, just the way he was talking. But he mentioned scouting a high school game. It was Buford High versus Cartersville. He saw this quarterback for Cartersville High School who was lighting it up. This kid could run, he could throw, he could do everything. That kid was his quarterback now with the Jacksonville Jaguars. So it'll be he's already been familiar with them since high school. So I hope that works out as a good fit for the coach and for the quarterback there.
The kid from Clemson, I can't even think of his name now.
What?
Jaguars quarterback, the kid from Clemson.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's Trevor Lawrence.
That's how quickly we.
Yeah, I was struggling too, which is why I kept saying the kid from Trevor Lawrence, the quarterback. He started watching him in high school. He was a stud in high school, which I don't even want to bring up the University of Georgia. University of Georgia at that time, I think around the era, they don't do well as far as keeping quarterbacks at stake. Trevor Lawrence, Clemson, Deshaun Watson, Metro Atlanta, go somewhere else.
Yeah, they don't recruit locally for quarterbacks.
They call them the Philly Dogs because it's like about 8 guys from Georgia on the Eagles, another 5 are on the Chiefs, and I think there may be 1 on the Falcons practice squad. I don't know. Athens is only an hour away, hour and a half away, and they don't ever draft that talent that's local, which is really
lost Ricky.
And he doesn't like to hear Georgia stats.
You can go on if you like with your Georgia stats.
Roll off with that, but that hire was interesting, but I guess they want somebody they think they can help develop their quarterback, Trevor Lawrence. And because that's the thing, they have not maximized anything from quarterback position. He's looking like a this guy Sam Bradford. He played for the St. Louis Rams many years ago. Got paid a whole lot of money, didn't win nothing. And that's what Trevor Lawrence looks like. Ditto for Kirk, my boy here in Atlanta, Kirk Cousins. A lot of money, few wins.
Ain't done nothing.
Few big wins, yes. So hopefully Trevor makes something out of this.
Yeah,
this is what the Jets to ruin Aaron Glenn. He's a great coordinator over there in Detroit. Ricky, you know more about him than anybody.
He's a great leader. Glenn's a great leader. I think that team will certainly play hard. I assure you that. Now, what is he going to do with Aaron Rodgers? Do you keep him?
I know what I do. I my first conference. He had to go. He got to go do his ayahuasca or whatever that weed he was smoking. He got to go take care of that.
Yeah.
But he's still the best. He's the best quarterback you got on the team tree. So you gotta, and you gotta have a quarterback.
Okay, you develop the one that you have, or you can't develop the one that you have.
They need to find one in the draft because they don't have.
That's what I was thinking too. Yeah.
And it's the best option. They with a new head coach, they go ahead and say, "This is my first year. Let me, come back and with another year with my players or my scheme or whatever." Because the camps like that, there's many camps and stuff are coming in the spring right after the draft where he can really start implementing what he's going to do. But Ricky, him as your defense was awesome, and you guys had played with baling wire and glue for
many
most
injuries.
Year. Everybody was hurt all year, and you did what you did.
Yeah, he's a players love him. and he's very aggressive, and he's passionate about the game, and the way they seem to follow that guy. And you hear some of his speeches he's going to be missed here in I'm not in Detroit right now, but in Detroit he's going to be missed for his leadership qualities. Although, Campbell is a dynamic personality for them too, but he's one of my favorites. Definitely wish him well in New York. But think about Tim. He coaches like he played. If you remember him as a player, hard-nosed guy, wasn't running, he wasn't the fastest guy out there, certainly wasn't the biggest, but he was all pro bowler. Here in Detroit, he was famous for the guy Barry outran to get his 2,000 yards in the carry that Barry Sanders got his 2,000 yards. The carry Barry Sanders broke the 2,000 barrier. He raced past Aaron Glenn for about 50-something yards.
Wow.
Aaron said, I tried to get him, but I couldn't. So, welcome to the club on that one.
Yeah, you're not alone on that, brother.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, did you guys lose?
We'll see what happens.
Didn't you lose your offensive coordinator as well? I know it's a tough question. Yeah. I think
you can answer your own question.
Well, no, I think Detroit lost the offensive coordinator as well in the offseason, because I think there was a story out there that said, what are you going to do because you've lost both of your coordinators? And surviving those guys leaving, as opposed to their quarterback was not really good. He reverted this past year. Goff did. He wasn't as dynamic as he had been, which was a problem. So those things, the coaching changes more so than the personnel, or if the quarterback comes up and has a bad year. They have people on the bench. They got a kid they drafted out of Tennessee last year who is outstanding, but he's just waiting his turn. And because Goff had such a great year, he's having to just wait his turn until the guy pretty much his play starts dropping off. And I think next year probably will be his year. There were two other hires in the NFL as well. One other one we haven't talked about was Seattle's old coach, Pete Carroll, who went into retirement. Yeah.
Is he coach, or they said an advisor? So senior advisors. I was confused by that story.
Well, he's the head coach now of the Raiders.
No, but when he moves to the new team, the article said he was going to be the head coach, but then also said he was the senior advisor.
That's weird.
I thought so too.
It was straight up him being hired as a head coach there. I know he was in retirement, and that retirement is only as good as who wants to hire you next. I understand with the Bill Belichick deal with you in North Carolina, he had a clause about this first year. It's some sort of clause that pretty much freed him up to pursue the NFL if somebody were to offer him a job this year. And they gave him some sort of deadline, and I think there was some funds attached to it. I'm unclear on that, but I was thinking I was reading something like that. So it's interesting to see if he sticks around for North Carolina. He signed his contract, and the contract has different stipulations and provisions in it. So it's all about all NFL all the time now. In terms of this next couple of weeks, you got this the travesty that is the Pro Bowl coming up on Sunday, and all these skills things that these people are doing down in Orlando. It's just something to me. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Finish. I'm saving my question. It's
watered down what the Pro Bowl used to be. That's what I was going to get at.
Oh, I was going to ask, does anybody care about the Pro Bowl? That was going to be my next.
Nobody. Nobody. I think there's only one All-Star game. Well, one of the major four sports that people care about, and that's the Major League Baseball. Nobody watches hockey. The NBA thing is a joke.
That's not true. You watch hockey.
You watch the NHL All-Star game?
I don't know, but I think Rich might. I'd have to ask.
Yeah. So, but that's a weird thing. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the skaters, but and it really mystifies me how those guys can fight with impunity. They get like a 2-minute penalty, a 5-minute penalty, and nobody wants to, ban the sport. Anybody else fights, and it's and it's the worst thing ever. But these dudes are duking it out every single night. So I'm just trying to figure. I still haven't figured out why that's allowed and why it isn't allowed in other sports.
Yeah, it's sort of like the hand gesture of the gun. That's penalty, but nobody's shooting at anybody. Nobody's holding a weapon, but now that's a penalty.
Yeah, the hand gesture for a gun, and you can't do this number where you are slicing the neck. There's no violent actions. Otherwise, you get in trouble. So,
but as long as you got a hockey stick,
yeah, you can do it. You do what you
go
want.
To town.
Because that's a violent sport, and I covered hockey years ago, and I have a ton of respect for those cats because number one, they're in shape, incredible shape. Mm-hmm. It's a very, very brutal, violent sport. If you've ever held a hockey puck, that thing right there is a weapon. You do not want to be in the way of that. While I was even covering it, had one of the players lost an eye because of a hockey puck. It hit the blade in the angle, and it came up under his visor and got him in the eye. So it's like that's a brutal sport, and things like that can happen. These guys, a guy's died before having his neck cut with a blade of a inadvertent skate to the neck that cut an artery. So it's like in each of these sports, you have these different danger aspects of it.
And I think I read today, I think it was a hammer throw, some kind of competition indoors, and something came off and it went through the protective netting and killed a person.
Yeah.
It's like,
see, that's why I play golf.
I mean,
you
gotta watch your back.
Now, golf will drive you crazy as hell, but you're not gonna hardly get hurt. There's somebody pop you. You only get your feelings hurt in golf.
It depends if you're in the gallery at it was one year I was covering Bay Hill, and I was trailing Tiger more than anything else because that was my job to be his shadow for that Bay Hill, and I was going down the cart path, and this ball goes. I could hear it. It whizzed by my head.
Whizzing by.
I'm like, it was like I'm on a cart path that whizzed by my head. So I'm up here on the tee, and next guy comes up here and taps me in the shoulder and says, "I'm sorry, are you all right?" It's Arnold Palmer.
I'm surprised.
You should have said no, and then you could have been, got your payoff. Yes.
No,
Arnold Palmer was a nice man. He was
absolutely a gracious.
I had a chance to cover him. He was truly a gentleman. Quick story. You shouldn't have brought up golf now. You shouldn't have brought up golf. Many years ago.
I don't think we did.
I think I brought it up, didn't I? In 1967, Arnold Palmer and Jack Nicklaus came to Nashville, Tennessee, and they played this exhibition at this Ritchie Golf Course, Bellmead Country Club. And this guy, this is 67 in the South. And this guy invited my father to come out to Bellmead. I won't even get into the story. Anyway, he met Arnold Palmer and Jack Nicklaus. 21 years later, 31 years later, Arnold Palmer comes to Michigan. He builds all these golf courses. He does an exhibition, and I'm covering him, and we get to talk. I said, Mr. Palmer, years ago you met my father. I'm sure you don't remember this, Joe Hampton in Nashville, Tennessee. He said, Ted Rhodes is buddy. Yeah, I met your dad. I remember your father. He signed the cap and gave to my dad. My father was so proud to put that doggone cap on. So that's my Arnold Palmer story. So we can move on.
But I was going to say, where's the cap now? Do you have it?
You know what? I don't know where that cap is. It could be. It could be in his It could be in his casket because we put some golf paraphernalia in his casket, a flag from Ted Rose Golf Course where he was the pro, a putter. I think that flag is with him right today. I think that cap is with him right today.
Wow.
But anyway, we were talking about nice guys, and he was definitely a nice guy.
And Tim, you probably may think it's a great drink too, right?
Yes, it's called something else now. I saw it in Chick-fil-A tonight. It's called a Sunjoy.
Oh yeah, it's an Arnold Palmer.
What in the world?
When Reggie goes in, he says he wants the Arnold Palmer. Everybody says Sunjoy.
Yeah, I won't. That was wrong.
Tim, I couldn't hear what you talking about, the Arnold Palmer drink.
Yeah, I said the drink is wrong. It's not Sunjoy. It is an Arnold Palmer.
Yeah.
Could you repeat that?
Yeah, I will. Can you hear me, Rick? Oh man, we're gonna save the Arnold Palmer story for later.
We'll save that.
We'll save that. Moving on. If he comes back, we'll talk about it. I know he's having some connectivity issues from where he is. So
right. And so we're just rolling right along. I think that now we're less than 3-4 weeks for those of us who no longer have football teams and really in real time that have anything to do with real football. It was today. It was 50 something degrees. It's going to be like near 70 on Friday here in Atlanta, and people are already looking toward baseball. So if you're not, the Hawks are okay. They're treading water.
Skipping over basketball.
Well, the Hawks are treading water. They're right at 500. They're probably going to be in the play-in game. Folks are looking at because the Braves made a big sign of this guy Jurickson Profar, and they think he's going to be the missing piece in the lineup. So that's where people's mindsets are going. When Georgia gets knocked out, you turn to the Falcons. Falcons disappointment. They go to something else. Just like other cities are like that. I mean, it's hard to be a football fan in New York. The Jets and Giants are trash. So you got nothing to root for. Chicago has a bad team, but these teams are always foisted upon us late in the year, irrespective, because I guess they get ratings. Cowboys.
I mean, Atlanta's always going to support its teams, right? But the thing about Atlanta, you have like a lot of places, people now move around, and so you've got a lot of people who are moving into Atlanta who still have their loyalties to their teams where they come from, right?
Well, that's pretty much, I think, a lot of, especially in Florida. I covered a Tampa Bay when Tampa and Chicago were still in the same division. Covered a Chicago at Tampa Bay game, and there were probably 80% of that stadium were Bears fans. All those snowbirds and transplants down there in Tampa, it felt like a road game for the Buccaneers. And that is really hard. And I feel it's probably the same way when the Dolphins play the New York or Buffalo, where you got all these people who move south, and it's not a real home field advantage. So those are some tough spots to play in.
And clearly I don't have a team, and I've moved, so I got nothing.
I forget you got a hockey team, so you can say.
I do. We have the Ghost Pirates, and we're getting. I don't know if you heard, we're getting a professional women's basketball team. That was announced today. Yeah.
Well, a WNBA team?
No, not WNBA. But it's a professional team. It's a professional women's team. I have to look it up right quick. Yep. I thought that I got excited about it. But I keep talking. I'll find it. I'll tell you what it is.
I was going to ask. I've been in and out. Are you guys? Did you mention the situation in Grambling? What they're about to? They're attempting to pull out the NIL deal there.
Go ahead, talk.
They got going on.
Go ahead.
No, we didn't talk about it.
Yeah, I was just through your notes. Grambling announces a plan for a new revenue sharing model, and they're really calling on the corporate world to come take part in this with sponsorships
and alums
for their teams.
and alums. They're like, buy tickets.
Oh, absolutely.
Do this, do this, do this. There's a list of things they're asking their fan base to do, which is important.
I think it's great, but it's like, what, people. Yeah. Go ahead, Rick.
No, I'm interested to hear what you have to say there.
I just think it's a great thing to do to make people say, look, if we want to get really good athletes, it's going to cost us something. It's going to cost everybody something. I don't care about, what happened when you were here and you didn't, and the course closed before you could register. None of that stuff matters. You got to come up here and support these guys right now. And I think that's really key. And hats off to Grambling for coming up with this, because it seems innovative, because I haven't heard of anybody else doing that.
Yeah. Do you think that'll, I guess, help?
Because I would
with the
I think it will help with recruiting, because it's pittance to what these other guys are getting, millions of dollars. They're not in that position, but it is something. It absolutely is something.
So you can get a free meal at the Tiger Den.
There we go.
Which was the legendary spot on campus. I guess it's still there. Everybody want to go to the Tiger Den. But seriously, I think about Grambling, man, and of course we all know the tradition there. But I would think today Grambling and Mississippi Valley would be some of the more difficult places to recruit kids to now. And I want to ask you that, Tim, because you know the SWAC as well as anybody.
There's some play. It depends on going there. If you have a history, I could see me going to Lorman, Mississippi for Alcorn. If Alcorn was perennially good like they were in the early 80s, I could see me going to Itta Bena to play alongside Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice is not walking through that door this fall. Right. There's some towns you don't want to, just not be in. Normal Alabama, they have a history. What was I think Alabama A&M when it was John Stallworth, I think, came out of there. Everybody has in the SWAC has some sort of star attached to it. Jackson State, you got Walter Payton, Robert Brazile, Harold Carmichael, people like that. They don't have those type of names. I think Michael Strahan and Aeneas Williams are the last somebodies to come out of there. And you see what Strahan is about to go in the College Football Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And he's a prime example as to why I'm not a general manager, because I did not think he was the best football player on his team when I watched him play in college. They had a receiver, Donald Narcisse, who I thought was the best professional athlete on that Texas Southern squad. And I was not wrong, because Donald Narcisse is in the Canadian Football League Hall of Fame. He went up to Canada and showed out, whereas Mr. Strahan has a gold jacket down here in the States.
And had the good fortune to play in New York City also.
Well, yeah.
So that helps.
I think it always does. This past Hall of Fame vote, Andrew Jones should be in the Hall of Fame for the Braves. He should already be in there.
Oh, first ballot. He should be first ballot.
If he played in New York or LA for the bulk of his career, he'd already be in there. I always find any kind of Hall of Fame or selection for anybody in those cities dubious, because those guys grew up with him as fans.
Yeah.
It makes me kind of happy that Bob Costas is no longer calling baseball games, because I cannot go. I could go the rest of my life without hearing about the 27 Yankees. But it is always brought up.
Yeah, Andrew Jones, he was a spectacular player, man.
10 gold gloves, okay? 10. He was the best center fielder of the era that he played in.
Yes, he was.
But maybe next year, because this guy
Andrew Jones is 10. I'm looking at a piece on CBS Sportsline. Andrew Jones's exclusion from the Baseball Hall of Fame is due to Yankee bias.
Yeah, because the Braves played the Yankees a lot in the World Series. I remember his first game in the World Series. I did not watch it. I was not able to watch it wanted to. I was out at a hockey game in Tampa where he hit 2 home runs.
Chipper Jones.
And drove in 1 million runs against the Yankees in the World Series.
Hey, before we go, I do want to, follow back up. I said we had a women's team, professional women's basketball team. It's called the Upshot League. It's a new venture in the Southeast, giving young women another opportunity to continue basketball past college. So the league is currently rolling out teams in 4 markets with the possibility of 6 for the inaugural season. So, yay, women.
What are the 4 markets? Savannah?
I guess that's one. Let's see.
Hey,
I don't think it doesn't bleep that. It doesn't say.
It didn't say. It just says Savannah's one of them, which is great.
Yep.
Columbus was one of the original teams.
Is that team in Nashville, Tree?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. But I just wanted to follow up with that before we get out of here. So.
Oh, cool. So that's one for that. And
hey, Tree, is Nashville included on that list?
I didn't see that they mentioned Nashville. They said to be rolled out later. So, but I sent you the article as well, so you should have it. You can take a look at your leisure.
Okay, so I'm looking. I just saw this another one here. They had Jacksonville's also one of the teams that's in the Shot League.
Well, we're gonna get out of here, guys. I'm having all kind of connectivity problems.
Okay. Well, Tim, looks like he is having us again.
It's us again. So it was a fast-paced hour. For Rickey Hampton, Tim Turner, and our good friend Tree McDougal. We'll see you guys next week.
All right. Be kind, everybody.